Hey everyone, Nubkeks here, and welcome to a look at Thrall and his new Earthquake build in Here's the Storm. So in case you guys don't know, in the last patch they nerfed the Sundering on Thrall, and they gave Earthquake a little bit of a buff. Basically, Earthquake now does a small bit of damage with every pulse, which has a few benefits we're going to see in this game, and I picked him intentionally here to basically pick it off. We are playing with a couple of friends, by the way. We're playing with Fear, who is a friend, and Collection, who is a friend. We were on voice chat, and unfortunately, actually in this game, very unfortunately, I had my recording software kind of bugged out and we didn't record the voice comms, so I'm just having to commentate over this afterwards. I would have much preferred to bring you the voice comms, so this will have to do. But anyway, we are sort of coordinating here and looking to do this sort of early game push. Push down one of the lanes, just try to take out one of the towers, and we'll see how it pans out. The enemy team, though, have rotated around pretty well, actually getting caught there by that stuff. Brightwing giving me a bit of a speed boost, though. Wind Fury running away, getting shocked by the lightning. We just barely make it out. Fully intentional, fully calculated. No, that was just very lucky, but we'll take it. Won't say no to a bit of luck. But this is a pretty common way to start off a match with the Vikings. Basically, you've got the Vikings soaking every single lane, and then you move down with the rest of your team as 4 people to one of the lanes and push in. So, as you can see, we already have quite a substantial XP lead for ourselves, even from level 1. We noticed that Murden went to mid lane there. He's rotated away, and in fact he's gone to top lane, so he's gone up to try to get some XP in some of those other lanes. Nova's actually gone to mid, and this is going to leave us open then to push in the bottom lane quite hard. You can see we've already got the tower down, putting some pressure on here. They simply do not have enough wave clear. Oh, we even pick off Uther over the wall. Another tower goes down. As soon as the enemy team sends their heroes away, we move in and we start taking this out. Going to focus, I suppose, a bit on the sort of the gameplay and the strategy here at the start more than anything else, seeing as, you know, the Thrall build doesn't really take off and become different. It's just the dead standard, bog standard Thrall build that you've seen 1,000 times before. Gonna be that until we get to level 10 and pick up Earthquake. Then we'll talk about how things are going to diverge a little bit. But anyway, our teammates are still pushing in down there. I really think at this point we want to back off and we want to translate into, as you can see I'm doing and Fear's doing as well. I think those 2 other guys, I think the ETC and the Brightwing are a duo queue, but basically we want to transition into doing these seed camps as efficiently as possible. Really, we want to grab the 2. We really want to grab all the small camps. That's going to be the biggest deal, the biggest way for us to get through this. Teammates do pick that off, and if you're turning off the fort and the tower with his Sylvanas passive, which is pretty good, and we're just going to translate and transition into just pressuring down the fort as opposed to going for the seeds. ETC is looking in a bad way, actually dodges the Uther thing. He's running away. Oh, barely any life. He does get picked off, though, unfortunately. We do some damage to Uther, and we are on the run. I think we got some nice fort damage, which is pretty good. I think that prioritizing the small seed camps and then the big seed monsters might have been a little bit better. It's difficult to fully translate that and to work it out. I think it would have been better because it not only does it give you more seeds, but it also denies those seeds from the enemy. So you can see they've picked up 1 small camp, and that's all. They only have 15 seeds so far, and they're still having to deal with all the lanes. You see they're looking for a pick off on the Vikings. That's actually one of the best things you can do against a Vikings team. If you kill a Viking, then suddenly you can actually be getting the XP soak advantage, and their advantage kind of disappears. But anyway, I'm working on the final seed camp right here. It's about to pick it off as Fear arrives on the Sylvanas as well, and that's not bad. I think we were kind of communicating to ourselves going, okay, they're pushing it down bottom. I think they're going to be fine. And we're saying we could probably duo this pretty effectively, actually. It shouldn't be a huge problem. You can see we're actually tearing through it pretty well. Thrall's pretty good at this. We actually got quite lucky and built a very good Vikings team for this map. The Sylvanas makes the 4-man push absolutely disgusting. Thrall is just a really solid hero. Basically, you want a team that's strong as 4 men. We've got exactly that. Thrall very strong here as well. You can see that, in fact, the 2 of us can take out the terror on our own very quickly and very efficiently. And this is going to bring us into another sort of like power point within our builds here. You can see him doing some damage to Murden. He's probably going to be able to heal this up. Our teammates are looking to invade aggressively or dive something. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing. We're getting Murden pretty low, though. Unfortunately, we missed that wolf. Could have potentially even killed him. I don't think so, but maybe. You never know if we pull that off. Rotating down to the bottom where our teammates are in a little bit of trouble. if you're getting some damage off. ETC on the retreat. We're just going to poke and then run away ourselves. Actually, Muradin arriving. Hello, friend. What a nice surprise to see you there. Not really. Sylvanas running to the north, gets picked off by the Nova. We get pulled back by a very nice Alarak combo. It looks like we're going to go down, and down we do go. Collection making a little bit of an error, sending the Terror into the mid lane instead of sending it up top. I think that's probably the best thing to do. When you got something like this with the Vikings, we're soaking up so much attention that he can just send the Terror basically the opposite direction, the opposite side of the map that we're in, which means that it takes the enemy team a long time to actually get up there and try to disrupt it. He's actually almost killing this Nova. Tychus is a big threat to the Terror, actually, and that was one of the redeeming factors of the enemy team's draft. Well, they got Muradin, they have Tychus, that's very nice. The problem for them is they've got Alarak with Uther as a healer, which isn't very good. I think we've thoroughly outdrafted them, and we'll see if that pans out over the course of this game. We have got our XP advantage and getting ever closer to level 10 and to getting Earthquake. So myself and Sylvanas, we turn around, we're going to pick off this final Terror, actually being a bit of a noob and getting stunned, which is not good. Trying to root the Muradin just to stop him from running in here and stealing our seeds, which would be a total dick move. Not going to get stunned this time. Learned our lesson. Here we go. Muradin actually dwarf tossing in, so we're going to focus some fire on him, root him down. Sylvanas arriving as well. Don't have quite enough damage to pick him off. Okay, finally does go down. We grabbed the final seed right there as well, and Earthquake has been picked up. So yeah, Earthquake, it's got a short cooldown, very short cooldown. And you put down this big zone. Let me actually get you the proper numbers and everything. I should have got this up beforehand. Such a noob. Thrall, Cal. Here we go. Get this up so I can give you the precise numbers for this. But yeah, you put down this big slowing zone. One of the things I found with Earthquake, and you guys are going to notice this, is that it's quite unclear as to where it begins and where it ends, right? So it pulses every 2 seconds. Each pulse slows enemies in the area by 70%, and also does a small bit of damage to enemy heroes. And it does 3 pulses. So you throw down the Earthquake, it's going to last for 6 seconds and do a pulse every 2 seconds. Or will it do an instant pulse? We'll find out now. I'm probably going to fire it off. There we go. There goes one. That's 1 pulse. It's going to do another one. There we go. There's this second one coming out. There's going to be one more. There's the third one, the third and final pulse. You can see it's quite a big substantial slow, and then the Earthquake dissipates, but it gives you quite a lot of control over the team fight. Now, we did ultimately lose that team fight, but so you can kind of see the sort of power that it brings and the sort of stuff it does. Divine Shield actually coming out, but Alarak misses his combo and misses his Q as well. Fortunately, we're going to get stunned up, just doing what damage we can. Almost pick off Alarak. Even the minions almost finishing off the kill, but not quite enough to pick him up. And Alarak does barely escape, unfortunately. So one of the things, basically what they did with Earthquake that made it so much better is adding that little bit of extra damage, well, not extra damage, but adding that little damage proc every time it hits an enemy hero. Why is this good? Well, number one, Thrall's trait is that every time he does damage with an ability, that bit of damage gives him a stack, or 1 tick of Frostwolf Resilience. So when you get 4, boom, it activates, and you heal yourself for a nice little chunk, which is, or excuse me, at 5 stacks, I should say. It will heal us. You'll see the ticks filling up. It'll fill up to 4, and then the 5th one will activate it. So there you go. That was it right there, for example. But yeah, every time we do damage, we get 1 tick of that. Now, every time Earthquake damages a hero, we're going to get a tick. So this is going to generate a ton of self-healing for us if we're fighting on the Earthquake. Because every time it hurts a hero, and we could hurt multiple heroes, it's going to generate a whole bunch of ticks, a whole bunch of self-healing. It's going to make us much, much tankier, which is really, really nice. The little bit of damage will also dismount heroes. It will also prevent them from mounting, prevent them from hearthstoning, I guess. It will just interrupt anything that can be interrupted with damage. It might interrupt, for example, Fear is pretty stuck out. Gonna throw the Earthquake down and disengage here, but we are just out of position in that sort of situation. It will, excuse me, yeah, it will interrupt anything that does damage. For example, what I was saying before we got attacked was that it'll stop Alarak from charging up Deadly Charge, pretty sure. Anything like that, which is pretty neat, you know, it's pretty nifty. Divine Shield comes out, which is going to save the Alarak, and we're going to die right now as well. Throw out the lightning, but it's not enough to save us. We get picked off. Divine Shield actually, I spoke badly of the Uther pick earlier, but it's working out decently well for them at this time. And yeah, we'll see how things go. I feel like there has been not the best actual synergy with our compositions. I feel that myself and Fear and Sylvanas have been fairly synchronized. You know, Collection's just kind of doing its own thing with the Vikings. It's very much how it works. They don't really work with the team all that much. I feel that then ETC and Brightwing have been working very much together, but I don't feel that myself and Sylvanas plus the ETC and Brightwing have actually been working together. I feel like we have two-man teams as opposed to one 4-man team, which is not really what you want when you're playing with the Vikings, and that's what's kind of holding us back the most in this match, in my opinion. We have started working though on this bottom camp, and the enemy team has picked up the top camp, and unbelievably they walk away having killed all the top camps on 99 seeds. They don't have enough for a Terror yet, which is pretty nice for us. And there we go, it goes down, we grab all those seeds, and happy days, we get ourselves a Terror, and the enemy team has nothing. So that's 2 in a row for us and nothing for them. Just clearing out this little bit of a bottom wave, getting that pushing up, and that's drawn Uther away. And at this point we're kind of looking to push in aggressively here in the mid lane, try to get some pressure on right there and push the enemy team away. You can see that Cliction has sent 2 Vikings up top, or I think it's actually all 3 up top. He's going to send 1 back, Hearthstone, Balog in fact, and Balog is going to throw the Earthquake down right here. Balog's going to pick up the Terror while the rest can maintain and continue that push. So the Earthquake down there was slowing down the enemy team a whole bunch, getting us quite a lot of pressure. It worked out very nicely for us. Now this is ultimately still a equal talent tiers. We're actually getting shrink rate, so we're going to die. We were going to die anyway though, so it's not a big deal. We actually pick up Nova because of that. Brightwing in some trouble. Hopefully ooh, Brightwing actually re-engaging. That's pretty risky. Blink healing over the wall though to Sylvanas. Perfectly timed to dodge the Stormbolt. I was worried that she was going to get caught out. There's the deadly charge we were talking about, and he's going to get there, but Brightwing blinking out of the way once again, pulled back by the Alarak, but the Q misses, and Brightwing walks away. In the meantime, the Terror has started to work on the fort right here, but Tychus very good at defending. His minigun doing max health damage to the Terror, really shreds its HP, and this Terror actually not going to get very much done, getting picked off very well. So nice splitting by the enemy team, I have to say, sending the right heroes to chase, and the Tychus knowing that he ought to hold back and actually defend against the Terror. So that was very well done by them. Very well done by them. And the Terror's actually going to go down, only doing half damage to a fort, so not getting too much out of that quite yet. We still have a small XP advantage, but not as big as we'd like. However, with the Vikings team, I feel like the later the game goes as well, the better it is for you. I think that they scale really well later into the game. I remember we were kind of talking in chat. Fear was fighting the Nova. I was kind of going, wait, is that the real one that's running towards me? And I hit it with lightning. I was like, oh yeah, I guess it is. Cool. So that's a free kill for us. Not too bad. And the Vikings using their bribe ability to steal away one of those siege camps, which is really nice. I think it's actually quite important with the Vikings team to try to pick up Merc camps for them as much as possible, because they often pick up Merc Lord. I'm pretty sure that Collection has that in this game as well. You can see I'm actually pinging that we should steal the enemy team Merc camps right here. Deny them from the enemy team, and also then empower the Vikings with them, and just create tons of map pressure that can be just so difficult to deal with. Their teammates are actually in a bit of trouble. Fear actually being caught out right there. Not in a good position. We should really have rotated as 4 to the siege camps. And once again, so important to rotate as 4, stick as 4, and be working as a team. Because you can see right there, we kind of split up, got picked off. We were slow taking the siege camp than we should have been. I'm able to use my... misclick the pathing. Oh, okay, that's fair enough. But yeah, that kind of gives you I think that sort of shows how it's important to stick together. People can underestimate this as well. Like, they'll do things like, it's a very common mistake I see, is that there are times when, you know, you're actually in a little bit of danger taking a mercenary camp. And what you really want to do is, like, go with as many people as possible and take it out with as many people as possible, as quickly as possible. Instead, what I'll see teams doing is, like, splitting into 2 or even 3 and trying to do all their merc camps at once. Then the enemy team just walks in on top of them, finds them, split up, and kills them. So that's something you really need to watch out for. Really need to watch out for. Getting some decent damage down on Murden, turn on the Earthquake as well. Again, it's a very short cooldown, so you can be pretty, you know, liberal with its usage. It's a really short cooldown, like Entomb, like a lot of those short cooldown heroics, and that's one of the nice things about it. Whereas the Sundering is a little bit lower at 80 seconds, you can definitely feel the difference. I'm trying to run out with the Wind Fury speed. Unfortunately, the enemy team have kind of outflanked us. I'm going to go down here as well, and that's us going to be dead. So that was not the prettiest team fight by any means. Not the prettiest team fight by any means. Should have probably retreated a little bit sooner. But yeah, it was a nice flank by the Nova to catch us out. And that's very well played by them, I have to say. Very well played by them. I think we hadn't quite realized that everyone was there. Something along those lines. You can see by the hero damage and stuff like that, our team, while it's good at playing the map, we're actually not that strong at team fighting. We don't have a big damage dealer. That's the kind of the price you play when you take Sylvanas and Thrall with the Vikings. It's very good at doing the map objectives on this map and so on, but in terms of actually killing things, much weaker. So that's always an issue. Oh yeah, our Brightwing actually picked up as well Ice Block to save himself, as opposed to picking up the Shielding Dust, which I think would have been a little bit better for protecting people from Nova and stuff like that. I think that's a mistake. And from Tychus as well, but we'll see how things go in the end. The enemy team have a Terror this time. In fact, they're going to get 2 in a row. You can see they have enough seeds for another Terror straight away after this. We could get a Terror ourselves. We got an open plant on the Terror, the seed indicator. Means we can pick one up ourselves if needs be. It's actually getting to that. That's the tricky thing. Fortunately, we missed our wolf right there. Throwing in an Earthquake right here, trying to keep... actually get interrupted from casting the Earthquake, so that's pretty bad. That makes things much more difficult. We're getting pretty much picked off. CC down and destroyed. Feels bad, man. Feels bad, man. We should notice, again, like I'm saying, even in the team fights when stuff is kind of going to shit, it'd be like the ECC and Brightwing. It's either the 2 of them die and myself and Sylvanas live, or it's like myself and Sylvanas die and the ECC and Brightwing tend to live. Like I said, I think we're very much split in terms of like even engaging and going in for the team fights. We very much... there isn't really much commitment and coordination and communication when that's happening. It just tends to be... oh, I mean, the Shielding Dust would also be amazing against Alarak, of course. There doesn't tend to be that sort of coordination. I think some of the fights might go a little bit better even if we just went all in and fought them instead of letting people die. Hard to say. These fights are happening pretty quickly, honestly. And the enemy team is playing it, I have to say, as well, pretty well. They're playing this pretty well. They've hit level 20 first as well. They're even on the core doing some damage. I think this is pretty greedy by them. So I'm looking for a flank here. Get the Earthquake down. We hit Muradin. Alarak, of course, gets hit and he explodes. Divine Shield, though, comes out, which is going to save the Muradin. He gets cleansed as well. We are in chase, but not going to be able to push in and steal that away. It still is a big... Terror left to fight over, and that's really what our target ought to be in this sort of situation. ETC does have stage dive, and I presume it's up. Yeah, we really want to take this Terror if possible. There we go. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. That ETC should be up with stage dive. He stage dives in, and we're able to zone out the Muradin and turn around onto the Terror. Start working that down. This vulnerability from Sylvanas being very useful in helping to burst that as well in combination with Wind Fury. So that goes down. Again, I think we split too much there again. I would like to have moved as 4 to take that and then move back. But understandably, because the enemy team had a Terror, it might have been better to pick up the siege camp first. This is pretty good. This Muradin should be dead. Oh, he actually pops Rewind. He pops everything. Avatar and Rewind, but Fear bolting forwards. Both of the Storm. The Brightwing thing coming in. And we just about... oh, we just about pick him off with the Chain Lightning as he's about to escape. That's actually a pretty big deal. At this point, yeah, we really want a Hearthstone and deal with this Terror. Just defend it and let their Terror push in. So I'm Hearthstoning, actually cancelling because we haven't cancelled. We were discussing in the thing as to what we would do. So Fear called, I think, for us to actually push with the Terror. And then we decided we should actually Hearthstone back out. But yeah, if our Terror pushes in on his own here, he's just going to get destroyed. We're trying to work out exactly what to do. I think we should have just backed off, like Hearthstoned after that initial push, and then picked off the Terror. We do arrive in plenty of time. It's not going to get the keep. It gets to keep walls and does some damage, but it goes down ultimately, and that's fine. This Uther might be in some trouble as well. He actually Divine Shields himself. You have the laser drill going in behind us. Going to pick that off. The laser drill is dead. ETC actually stage diving in. He's got no HP left though. But the Wailing Arrow prevents any follow-up damage from coming in, which is pretty good. Going to throw out the Earthquake on top of the enemy team as well. Oh, by the way, we picked up Earth Shield. Look at those shields coming out from Earthquake. We upgraded Earthquake at level 20. And that's a pretty big deal for why you would pick that up. So Alarak has gone down. Looking into chasing more. We find the Muradin. Hello, friend. He gets a nice dwarf toss over the wall, but he's going to go down. Oh, never mind. He pops Avatar once again. This Muradin loves popping Avatar when I think he's about to die. It's pretty good at that. Our Terror does die. but Nova died as well at the same time. The enemy team has continued to engage, kind of expecting ETC might re-engage at any moment here. I think we've really caught the enemy team out of position if he does. And there we go. This is exactly what I was talking about. Brightwing teleporting in on me as well. But again, like that, I was kind of expecting them to come in quicker. I really thought we had that. The self-healing from Thrall. Once again, when you have a good feel for that, that's so important to being able to play him well. I thought, you know, with that, with the ETC, CC, and like a little bit of healing from Brightwing and so on, we'll be able to take that out pretty well. There we go. We're pushing onto the core as well. Because of Earthquake and the upgrade I got for it, which is Earthen Shields at level 20, we're going to be able to do this. Watch, the Earthquake comes out every time it does a pulse, so kind of instantly, and then every 2 seconds. 15% max HP shield comes out. Really useful, really powerful. Just helping people stay alive. It's like Storm Shield, but better. It's probably how I describe it. We're onto the core. Everyone is here. We're going ham on the core. The enemy team had 3 members dead. Alarak and Uther trying to defend. We're able to take it out, recognizing the core is vulnerable, going in and really exploiting the Earthquake to make that happen. So I thought that was kind of a cool way to end the game as well. I'll go over the talent builds at the end too. There are the stats. We'll see them as well at the end. But nice, using that level 20 to do it. That's one of the things with Sundering on Thrall, right? Is that the level 20 Sundering upgrade is crap. So you go with like Bolt of the Storm. And Bolt of the Storm is certainly okay and combats Thrall's weakness. But I think Earthen Shields is, in comparison to World Breaker, which is the Sundering upgrade, Earthen Shields is kind of amazing. There we go. You can see I'm actually just highlighting that instantly. All the heroes in the Earthquake area gain 15% of their max health with every single pulse. Bear in mind Storm Shield. What is Storm Shield? 20%? I'm pretty sure it's 20%. Pretty sure it's 20%. Fear had to go, so good night to Fear, and thank you for the games. Let me double check for you guys. Yeah, Storm Shield is 20% of max health for 3 seconds, whereas Earthen Shields is 15% max health. The shield lasts for 4 seconds, and you get it refreshed completely every 2 seconds. You stand in the Earthquake, and you get that 3 times. So potentially in a team fight, that's 45% max health for every ally bonus as a shield who's standing inside that. Is absolutely huge. It's absolutely massive. The amount of damage it does, or the amount of damage it prevents, is just insane. It's so strong. And you're also getting ticks of self-healing as well from your Frostwolf Resilience trait from that little bit of damage that Earthquake is doing. It just adds up to so much. It's crazy. What a great level 20. I think some people will probably know about this level 20. But it's not one you'll see very often because, well, number one, Earthquake hasn't really been a thing. They've tried to make it more and more popular, but until the last patch, it hadn't really taken off as a great pick. It's only with that last patch that Earthquake has become probably, honestly, the go-to thing for Thrall. It's really great. And then, of course, all the games don't often go to level 20, so you might not even see Earthen Shields. So it was really nice to see it in this game and a few of the uses for that. But it's an incredible team fighting tool. It really is. Unbelievably powerful. I mean, that's the thing with Storm Shield as well. It's like you throw it out and you might not get value out of those shields. You know, they might expire before people actually take damage from them, or maybe one person or 2 people get their shields damaged, but not everyone does. Whereas with Earthen Shields, because it's constantly refreshing every 2 seconds and it lasts for 4 seconds, I mean, you throw it down, Earthquake down, boom, that's 1 pulse, great. 15% health for 4 seconds, and then 2 seconds later you get another pulse, 2 seconds later another pulse. So by the end of it, you know, like that's, and then it lasts for 4 seconds after that. That's a total of 8 seconds of shielding, if I'm doing the maths correctly. That should be 8 seconds of shielding, because the Earthquake is down for 4 seconds. You get a shield from the start, and then a shield at the very end, and then that last shield lasts for an additional 4 seconds. That should be 8 seconds of having a shield on you. That's a really long time as opposed to Storm Shield, which is 3 seconds. And there's also the fact that they burn through the shield, it gets reapplied, it gets refreshed 2 seconds later, which is a massive deal. I think it's really useful, very good for diving the core. Anyway, enough ranting about how great Earthquake and Earthen Shields is. At level 1 I picked up Rolling Thunder, so more range on my Chain Lightning and restoring some mana. Pretty nice. We could have gone for block against Nova as well, would be pretty good, but they had Tychus, so that would put me off taking block. I think Rolling Thunder was the best choice. Picked up Ride the Lightning at level 4, so our Chain Lightning hits 2 additional enemies, helping us out a little bit with that wave clear, and also gives you more self-healing as well, because again, those 2 additional enemies that are hit each triggers Frostwolf Resilience, which is really nice. or triggers 1 tick of Frostwolf Resilience, I should say, so it adds up to more. Basically, if you queue someone with Ride the Lightning, if it has enough targets to bounce to, that's 5 targets, which will be a full proc of your Frostwolf Resilience, a guaranteed heal. Really good. Followed through at level 7, of course, which gives you so much damage as Thrall. Every time you use an ability or next basic attack, does 40% additional damage. Thrall hits like a truck. He hits very slowly, so follow through grants just massive value for him. Level 13, I went for Giant Killer to help dealing with the Garden Terrors and to help dealing with that Muradin. And then Tempest Fury to combo with that level 16, which makes the final strike of Wind Fury hit 3 times for 75% normal damage. However, each strike of that applies a full stack of Giant Killer. So that final hit of Wind Fury will just shred an additional 4.5% of the hero's maximum health from the Giant Killer proc. So yeah, really, really nice synergies right there. Works well for the map, worked well against the enemy team comp. And also finally, of course, that's worth noting too, the Tempest Fury, the final strike of Wind Fury hitting 3 times. Each Wind Fury strike does also give you a tick of Frostwolf Resilience. So yeah, it's a pretty nice build for Thrall. I think it gives you good poke. I think it gives you good sustain, a little bit of mana sustain thanks to your level 1 Rolling Thunder, and then also nice health sustain from just the additional healing from your Qs, the additional healing from Earthquake, the additional healing from Tempest Fury, and then the shields from Earthen Shields. I think it's a pretty cool, sort of very bruiser type Thrall build. I like it a lot. I think it's really nice. You'd lack the mobility of Bolt of the Storm later in the game, but with the extra shields, I think you can kind of work around that, and the just immense amount of control and disruption that brings to the team fight. The enemy team, to be fair, didn't have a composition that suffered overly much from having Earthquake thrown down, but you could imagine something like a Greymane or a Butcher, or even like something like ETC, who's maybe a bit squishier than Muradin. There's a lot of heroes you could imagine, Kerrigan even, being stuck in melee range, and that Earthquake just really making their life a misery. I mean, the enemy team had quite a lot of range damage, and Alarak is quite happy to be kind of at the back. He doesn't necessarily need to be in there in the front lines at all the time. He can kind of go in and go out again, and he's okay with that. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool, pretty disruptive. I like it a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed that look at Thrall with Earthquake. I hope you guys enjoyed the game too. It's kind of interesting. I think it's kind of an interesting look as well into some of the strengths and weaknesses of queuing up with friends, particularly the sort of the lack of where how having better communication sometimes leads to worse team play in some sort of situations, or how it sometimes leads to better team play, as evidenced by some of the mistakes made by myself and Fear trying to work together, and then also the ETC and Brightwing trying to work together, and then how the two groups are sometimes not really that synchronized. It's kind of funny, they're so synchronized with each other that they don't synchronize with like with the members within their own group, that they don't synchronize with people in the other group. Kind of duo queue syndrome, I like to call it, and I thought it was a cool insight into that in this game as well as Garden of Terror with the Vikings and making composition around them. Thanks for watching, everyone. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. I'll see you all next time for more Heroes of the Storm. Bye bye.